One more wager to talk about for Saturday, Kyle Crown Saturday, and it's the Coast to Coast Pick Five. And this they bringing this back here. Races from Gulfstream and Santa Anita, $1 minimum, retail only. Very important. Couple races at Gulfstream Park, three races from Santa Anita. All turf for this Coast to Coast Pick Five PTF, and we're going to start out at Gulfstream with a pretty interesting stake.
I love this race. I'm so glad the Coast to Coast is back. Sounds like they're going to keep it rocking and rolling anytime when Santa Anita and Gulfstream are both operating, which is just great news for horse players. So very happy to plug the return of the Coast to Coast. And I will definitely be taking a bit of a swing in this bet. We'll start off with Gulfstream's ninth race, where I was going to use two. I was going to take the classic Jonathan Kinchin approach to this turf sprint, where I want the best speed and the horse with the fastest numbers overall. We'll start with number 3, Lazio. Pains me to say this as a Roma supporter, but we'll start with Lazio. This horse looked like the potential best speed to me. Simply an easier group than what he faced last time at Colonial. I think there's a chance this horse could bounce back with a nice forward effort. The 4, Ghostly Rose, comes out of that same Colonial race as the top one. This horse finished up a lot better than the top one there. Going to have a lot of work to do late on. Might have to pass them all. But I think on the body of work, this horse needs to be used and might just be faster than these. So the 3 and 4 to start things out. I'll flash the ticket up here in a minute. But race number 11 at Gulfstream is our next port of call. And even though this is a turf route, a little bit similar. I'm going to want one speed and one closer. The 6, Catch a Tiger, one that'll be on tickets. I think this horse, like the other one I'm going to use, getting back to the better surface today. I also thought it was a strange ride last time. This horse was rated. This time I think they're going to use Catch a Tiger's weapon, and Catch a Tiger might take some catching, as I think they'll send to the lead, and maybe this one can be seen to better effect. I am also going to use number 7, Reminder, as I mentioned, getting back onto the turf. This horse fits off the run off the bench 2 back today, could be set for a peak effort in the 3rd start off the bench. If the top pick doesn't win, maybe at the very least he can set it up for this horse, who I think could prove the best closer. Now we'll move on to races we've talked about a lot in other videos, but I'm going to mix things up a little bit in my discussion of this John Henry Stakes by adding a couple of more runners. One is Balnikov, I'll add in the mix here, who you've made passionate cases for, going for that big bonus in this spot. Flavien Prat aboard. That's a horse I definitely want. I've talked a lot in the other videos about Gold Phoenix, a horse who this is like the lone race on the resume that the horse doesn't seem to have been so dominant in Southern California over the last couple of years. So I definitely want to have some of that one. And then the stablemate of that runner as well, Devant Propo, a horse that I just think looks very well suited for this spot and could make a pretty big impact. And I will also throw in one wild long shot. I'll make the case in the written content that we have up for this, if you check the In the Money website, but I did want a little bit of the number 7. This seemed like maybe the right pool to toss this one into the mix in this spot. And then from there, it gets very simple. We go back to singling Big Invasion and try to close things out with Johannes and Trickery. Very curious to get your thoughts about this Coast to Coast pick 5.
I love the all turf for this coast to coast, and the rest of Gulfstream I thought came up pretty tough. I agree with you though in leg 1. I think the 3 and the 4 both very live coming out of that Roses Stakes. If you watch that race, Governor Sam just dominated that race from start to finish, and that horse was a 2-time stakes winner so far. Both were, had tough trips in there, so I think a little bit better trip. The class edge that those two have, I like 3 and 4 in leg 1. I think they're must uses. You go to the 11th race, I'm a little different. I do agree on the 7 Reminder. This horse was racing in open races at 2. Was second in the pulpit to a horse named Noted. That horse got very good at the end of last year. Came back and finished second on the grass on August 4th here at Gulfstream, facing state breds, and then ended up on the synth on August 31st. I'll just toss that race out. I do think 7 is a must use there in leg number 2. I'll try the 3 also, the man up front. 10-1 morning line, speedy. I think a little bit of a drop here. Has been racing against open allowance types with 75 tags and a couple listed stakes there for this one. I think is speedy, is dropping, and could control this race. So give me the 3 and the 7 in those 2 Gulfstream legs. Now, if you're looking at Saturday, again, we've talked about these races. Give me Balnikov, give me Rock Epper at a price. give me Dicey Mochera. I do think that one, if you wanted to wait a ticket, Dicey Mochera could be one to wait there in that John Henry. Just with the speed, could get the jump on all the closers in that race. Definitely heavy on that one for me. And the Eddie D, another wide open race. You could spread here, but I'm going to do two closers, Big Invasion and Iman. Iman, the big price of the two. I'm just very curious to see what happens. This horse getting to 6.5. So it could be interesting there. And then to finish, Johannes, I think, is the most obvious horse of the weekend. Now, he's chalky, but I'm not going to try to waste equity beating a horse that I don't think really should get beaten in this race. He's been very visually impressive this year. Really, nothing has been close to him out here. And I don't see anything in this race that looks any different than what he's been facing. Now, Trickery is interesting. I do like your pick of that horse in here, but it's a 3-year-old stepping up. Just might need a little bit more to beat these older types, especially a horse like Johannes. So I think excellent coast to coast pick 5 for Saturday. Jump in again, retail only, $1 minimum. Well, PTF, we've gone over a lot of things in this video. If you stuck with us through the main video on YouTube, you get our thoughts for all these special wagers for Cow Crown. I know you're out there big time getting involved this weekend.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to be firing away. This is really good racing. It's an event I want to support. These kind of player-friendly wagers are something we as horse players should be looking to support. You vote with your dollar in this capitalist life. We can tell these racetrack executives we like what we've seen by getting involved. Really excited to be taking shots and trying to use these pools to leverage against each other. And we haven't even talked about some of the other, just the regular wagering menu and all the opportunities there. A runner like that 7 runner I was mentioning, Big Blue Line, before. That's a horse, I'll certainly be able to make plenty of money just betting to win at the 20-1. That one's going to be. So just because we're talking about these more exotic wagers and our approaches to them, don't overlook the regular wagering menu at Santa Anita on Saturday. It's going to be a ton of fun. And want to let folks know, we haven't gone high level into the handicapping piece on these videos. That's because we've got that covered in other shows. If you subscribe to the In the Money Media YouTube channel, you'll be able to see a variety of videos covering these races, including with the NBC team, including Randy and Jerry and Nick and Brittany. We have JK over there, and then written content as well. There's going to be a pretty link in themoneypodcast.com/Cal Crown is going to get you to the full wagering menu. So there's no confusion about which races are in which bets. And we're going to hyperlink out to horse by horse written content by yours truly for all the races as well. Hopefully that'll help you out. But hey, you've heard what we think. We want to hear what you think. Drop us your thoughts in the comments on this YouTube video. We'd love to hear what your approach is going to be to this great day of racing, the California Crown.